night when you received that trophy, that you were, the regional champs. What was that night and the culmination of the year like?
Just proud for our seniors and for the team because they have worked hard. We worked throughout the year, not just in the summer, but in the spring, and just seeing all that work come to fruition. Just proud of the team and the kids and what they was able to accomplish.
Let's talk a little bit about this team. A year ago, this team was celebrated all around, particularly for that defensive effort in the state championship game. Can we talk about the defensive evolution and development of this particular team going into Saturday?
Well, talking about the defensive side of the ball, we don't change much. We are 3-4 teams, and we can get in the forefront. But year in and year out, my defensive staff have been able to stay together. So our principles haven't changed much. And when we graduate a class, those younger kids who are on the JV team or back up on the varsity, they just know what they expect, and we try to continue doing the same things that we've done the year in the past.
Talk a little about your quarterback, about your two running backs, Dunn and Lawrence. What do you got to say about those guys, what they've meant to you this year?
It's simple. Without Dunn and Lawrence, we're not in this position. They're both explosive players. They can run, they can catch. They're leaders on the team. So those guys are an integral part of this year's team.
Coach, the last couple of years, you guys have come into the state championship game. You've come in, as far as the statewide, you're pretty much the underdog. This year, you're the defending state champion. I think a lot of people think you will repeat. Does it feel different this year? Are the expectations different? Do you feel like there's more respect for Wake Forest football?
The only difference, I would say, again, you have to break down our team. We have experienced players on offense. We had to replace some key players on defense. But as far as the expectation was there. Even when we lost those 2 or 3 state championships, we're coming in, we're going to play to win, we're going to give our best effort. But hopefully the kids do have a little more confidence because we have players that's been there before.
Schematically and personnel-wise, what concerns you the most from Mount Green?
They're 14-0, I believe, so they're good offense, defensively. They're going to have some talented players. I think one of the biggest things for us, they're big on that defensive line, so we're going to have to go against those bigger guys and try to get our offense moving against those guys. But they're big up front and they're talented at the skill position.
You're 14-0. They're 14-0. How do you sum this matchup up?
It should be a great game. I'm expecting Mallard Creek best effort, and certainly we're going to get our guys to give their best effort. So maybe it'll be a great championship this time.
Hardly ever have I gotten to the state championship with all my best pieces, and you get a little bit of that woe was me type stuff, but then you figure out, what, we got a great team, and I really believed in our kids, and devastated for Zamir. I'm happy his surgery went well and he's going to come back and make a full recovery, which is the most important thing for him. But after you go through a little bit of depression and you realize, what, we're still pretty daggone good, and we're blessed to have some other running backs in our program, and none of them offensive line are hurt, and that's really what we've rode all the way to the state championship game is that offensive line. And so hopefully we'll continue to find a way.
Johnny McQueen has stepped up in a big way since Zamir went out. What is he doing?
Well, he's another physical downhill runner. He himself has major D1 offers, and he's a heck of a football player. He was out for 5 or 6 games this year. While he was out, Zamir kind of carried the load. And now that Zamir's out, it's Saheem's time, it's Smiley's time, as they call him. And we really expect him to. He's one of those ones that he's going to get the physical, tough yards. There's not a more violent football player on our program. He's a tough kid. He's banged up a little bit, but he'll answer the bell and he'll be ready to play.
What does it say about your team to lose the best player in Zamir and really not miss a beat?
Well, again, I think it just speaks volumes to the determination of our kids and our coaches to just find a way. And we are one of the few teams that, at that position anyway, could absorb that kind of loss because we are blessed with some other guys that can run the ball. Our quarterback is an amazing runner himself. He's rushed for 700 yards and 12 touchdowns in the playoffs alone in the last 2 games. Warren Bell's a heck of a football player. We're blessed to have him. So it's. I'll put a lot of faith in Warren and what he's been able to do. And our defense has really stepped up. The score last week wasn't necessarily indicative of how well we played defensively. We gave up 3 consecutive onside kicks in a 32-7 game, and ended up having to win in overtime. But our defense has really kind of played well the last few weeks. I feel like they're gelling at the right time, and I feel like it's going to give us a chance.
You mentioned Scotland won a state championship in 2011. What's the atmosphere like right now in Martinburg?
It's crazy. And Scotland's one of those very special places in North Carolina with unbelievable fan support. Last time they went to Winston-Salem in 2011, they literally filled up the visitor side of a college stadium with, I don't think anybody was left in Scotland County. We have unbelievable fans. It's a great place to play high school football. I expect for Wake Forest Stadium to be packed again, and it's electric right now. Everybody's excited. It'll be interesting to see them show up in the big time, and I expect them to do so.
So, Coach, your team's in the state title game. What was the feeling on Mount Airy this past Friday night? You were able to win that regional final.
It was a big win for us. Murphy's a really good school, lots of tradition, great coaching. It's a good atmosphere up there at Murphy. And, we've played up there twice, and they had to come down to our place this year. And it's a really good game, hard-fought game. We were fortunate to win, and it's a big moment for us. We made it that far last year and couldn't quite close the deal. And this year it was pretty satisfying, pretty gratifying.
Just being able to get out of the 1AA West just seemed like a gauntlet there those last bit. How has that prepared your team for this Saturday's game?
Well, they all do. I mean, at some point, whatever the team, whatever the scores, there's always things you can learn from every game. And playing a team like Murphy's definitely, especially a team that can run the football like they can, because you're getting ready to face a beast in Tarboro. Definitely give us a little bit of a taste of what we might see next Saturday.
Personnel-wise, what are you looking forward to matching up with, and what's concerning you as a coach?
They concern me, period. They have athletes all over the place. Probably as good a team speed as any team we've faced since I've been at Mount Airy. They're really athletic, and they play really hard, and offense and defense, they've pretty much dominated everybody they've played on both sides of the ball. So it's going to be a task.
So what's the last thing you're going to tell your team before you get up?
I'm probably going to. I'll tell them a lot during the week, but probably the last thing that I'll tell them, I was fortunate enough to play in a state championship game in basketball and coached in a few state championships, and I want them to enjoy it. I want them to spend some time soaking it up, win or lose. It's going to be something that they remember for a long time, and I want them to be able to think back and to remember what the stands look like and remember what the grass smelled like, because it'll be a great experience for them.
Describe the feeling on Friday when you're able to clinch another regional championship and get back to a state title game.
The biggest thing, I got sad because I realized my time with these kids is short. I missed out on a lot of time this summer because I had a terrible accident coming in new and all that good stuff, and I wish we could play another one.
Yeah.
No matter what happens Saturday, and I wish we'd come practice on Monday, and just a special group of kids, and that's the reason why we're here, because we've got a special group of kids.
And what are you looking to see out of this special group of kids here on Saturday, as far as matching up against a pretty tough opponent coming out of the West?
Yeah. You say that politically correct, pretty tough, and that make me question your definition of pretty and tough. They are very good. And y'all got all the stats and everything else, and it's going to be a huge challenge for us, but we'll find out exactly where we are. But I think we got a very good football team too, and I joke and say we weren't even good enough to win our own conference, but our conference is pretty daggone good, and we've got some folks who can play too. But the biggest thing that I would love to see is for these kids to win 4 in a row, because that'll never be beat. Yeah. It could be tied, but it'll never be beat. And this group of kids have meant so much to our school and our community. You always, and Coach Teague's the same way with his kids, you always want to see your kids go out on top. And I got 2 sons at the house, and when I spank them, it's because I want to see them go out on top. When I love them up and discipline, because I want to see them succeed, and that it's no different with my own Bulldog kids. And, I just want to see them go out on top and get the recognition that I feel like they deserve.
So who's one of your players that maybe doesn't show up on the stat sheet that you really think is just the heart and soul of your team?
We don't have one.
Okay.
I mean, and that's what makes our team special. Most teams, you got that guy.
Yeah.
He's the alpha. But you know, we've got a handful of them, and that's why we are what we are.
Now, up front, what do you want to see out of your linemen here on Saturday?
We're going to have to be extremely physical. We're going to have to be extremely decisive and quick off the ball because they're so fast. They're very physical, very athletic, and you miss an assignment, they make you pay for it. So we're going to have to be disciplined and very physical and very athletic.
But we like to, early on, I like to, in our non-conference games, I like to play teams that are going to give us a challenge. I want to know my weaknesses right from the start, because if you play 4 or 5 games of teams that don't match up well with you, don't physically can't match up well with you, and you're winning the games, those are nice for the record, and don't wrong, you try to win them all. But you know, when you're 8th game of the season, your first tough games maybe week 6 or 7. By that time, it's hard to pull a kid and get another kid ready. So when playing people like Christian and AK and South Meg, those type of schools, they're going to show your weaknesses early. And Christian definitely would show us where we need to work on, or what. In this case, we thought we had the people in the right position because we won the game, and it was a tough physical game. We saw that they had the intestinal fortitude to, when we get hit in the mouth, to get back up. So that's a big part of our game too.
If you don't mind, it's a Catholic school and whatnot, and I know there's not many in North Carolina. What's that faith or kind of that culture like on campus?
Well, that's that people go, why you're so successful, and the community atmosphere that we have at our school is phenomenal. From what I have moms that come in and put the laundry up on Tuesday. They call it the Stinky Squad. We have our field is lined by a father whose kids played 20 years ago, and they have a crew out there every Thursday where parents get out there, and we got more paint machines than the Panthers do, I think. Because he and we don't touch that field.
Yeah.
We don't put a drop of fertilizer on that field unless asking him. Because again, he takes pride in that. So we have a lot of people who take pride in just being at Charlotte Catholic. A lot of them have come up. Almost 90% of our kids come up right through the system. So you get that community. I was fortunate enough that my son, who just graduated last year, who played for me, my wife got to experience that. And my 2 other kids that are ones who plays girls lacrosse, and the other one's a soccer player. It's just that it's a community out there, and that community, what it brings is accountability, and what makes your kids don't want to let down not only their peers and their coaches, their school, but it's the community, and they buy into it, and we point out the support that they get. Makes them they buy in, and when you get kids, 15 to 18-year-olds buying in and working hard. It's not a very complicated game. You just got to out hit, tackle, and block, and that's what Coach Odo has always taught us since we've been there. And with Coach Odo developing that program long before I was there, fortunately to work with him for 10 years, it has allowed me just to, when I came in, not to the joke was I just not want to screw anything up here. So I give him all the credit for establishing. I'm just trying to take over and continue what he had built, was the strong tradition of Catholic football.
It was an amazing feeling, to get the turn-up chain to Marquise Nelson. We got our own turn-up chain. It's pretty nice, and he get to wear it at the end of the game. We didn't get to wear it all game. They beat us in the turnover battle, so we overcame the lot to beat those guys. It was nice.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably as good as atmosphere at Harding as I think I've ever seen, because it's been a long time. In the locker room with your guys, even on the field, what'd you tell your guys about this moment?
Don't take it for granted. It's an amazing moment. Just playing in the game, we're built to make him stand up with a capital H. So it's not just playing football. Our kids are going to be special in and outside of football. If you're taking out your trash for grandma, if I'm making dinner for my wife, we were made to be great, and it just carries on to the field. So when you watch us play, people are going to have a lot of questions. How and why did we get here? It's because he made us great, and you're just seeing greatness come out of us.
So one thing that has, kind of come out in the greater Charlotte community, I'll tell you this, is the idea of Harding as family. What's family mean?
Family, that's right. Well, we do anything for each other. It's not just seeing each other at school and playing football. We do everything together. We go to church together. We go to the movies together. I mean, these kids will be life friends forever. Like, that's what family is. Like calling your brother any need. It's amazing. I got a text message from Kavars Crouch about a month ago when I was going through a tough time, and it was one of the most amazing text messages you'll ever read. And it's just amazing how we have grown as a family. And if we didn't have that bondship, he couldn't text me or do something like that. It would just be a business type trip. And it's more than that to us. Family is what we are.
So this Saturday, you got a great matchup here. What are you looking forward to seeing from you guys, and what are you telling them to watch out for?
Well, definitely. You know, it's like a mirror image of one another. You know, they're a hard-nosed, tough team as well. Like to run the football, do things off the run. You can pass off the run, but you know, it's going to be a trench battle game. You know, head knocking. You know, it's going to be beautiful to see. A lot of just dust flying everywhere, even though we're playing on turf. But that's what you're going to see. It's just who's going to win the trenches. That's who'll win the game.
So, not looking at the stat sheet, you know, who do you have one guy who kind of takes ownership, takes leadership with the team, or is it more of a group effort?
It just depends. We have, on offense, we have a lot of kids, like Brahim Murphy, the kid that stays with me, the quarterback. He's going to West Point. He plays quarterback for us. He does so many things that beyond the stat sheet you can imagine. Then we also have the number one player in the country, Kavars Crouch. I believe regardless of the age group, 2019, 2018, he's a special player. You don't see that very often. He's one of those guys that you'll be talking about for centuries, I feel like. He's that good.
Into this game, you've taken out, I guess, two of the top quarterbacks in the state of North Carolina these past two rounds. Now, how'd your defense do it?
Well, we've got a defense that's got a lot of guys that played a lot of football. We've got a lot of seniors, and we've got, you know, most of them have started since they were sophomores and have been played deep in the playoffs the last 2 years. So I think a lot of it goes with just some experience, and we're athletic. We basically play with 7 linebackers in our front 7, and we've got guys that can run and put pressure on quarterbacks, and we were able to do that the last 2 weeks. And but I think more than anything, just experience and guys that know how to prepare and understand how hard you have to play to win those kind of games. I think that's got a lot to do with it.
So what are you looking forward to out of your players this Saturday against New Hanover?
Well, this is a group of kids that's been talking about this for a long time and dreaming about this for a long time. They were, the last time we were here was 09, so they were little guys, and this has kind of been their dream to get to play in this game and try to be remembered in our community as a state champion. They'll do a good job preparing this week, and just like they've done all season, I know they'll play their tails off. There's no doubt about that. It's just just got to play well, and like we've told them all season, just be a really good version of us.
What are you seeing out of your opponent that makes you want to kind of focus on this week in practice?
Well, the thing that jumps out at you right out of the gate is they're very well coached. They know their job. They know what to do. Scheme-wise, they're sound in everything that they do, and they just don't make a lot of mistakes to hurt themselves. They've got playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, and they've got a quarterback that knows how to get the ball in their hands. Defensively, they're sound. They defend the field well, so you're going to have to work to score points. It being Monday morning, I hadn't had the amount of time yet to really to get deep into what's good and bad, but you try to find weaknesses initially when the first time you start looking at a team on film, and so far I haven't really found any. But that's what it's supposed to be in state championship games. It's supposed to be 2 really good teams, and just come down to which one can make the most plays.
So what's it going to take for AC Reynolds to walk away with the state title?
We're going to have to score points. I think we're going to have to put the ball in the end zone, because offensively they're good enough to do that, and they've got some playmakers that can do it quickly. So we're going to have to score points, and we're going to have to be able to come up with some big stops. And I feel like we've played 2 really good teams the last 2 weeks with really good quarterbacks, and so we know how to do that, and it's just going to come down to doing it Saturday.